For most of human history, the most valuable thing on Earth wasn't gold, it wasn't silver, it definitely wasn't land, it was flavor. A handful of dried seeds, a piece of tree bark, a drop of resin. It sounds strange today, I know. After all, spices sit on supermarket shelves, sold for a few coins. But in the past, things were very different. There was a time when pepper was worth more than gold. Nutmeg could buy a house. Cinnamon could pay off a person's entire debt. And yes, people, nations, and empires killed, fought, and risked everything for these flavors. Welcome to history and economics, to the place where money, power, and history intertwine, and where nothing is as innocent as it seems. Before the modern world existed, before America, before stock exchanges, banks, and oil pipelines, the global economy ran on spices. Not just to make food taste better. Spices were a way to survive. They preserved meat, they cleaned wounds, they masked bad smells. They were believed to cure illnesses. But perhaps most importantly, spices meant status. In medieval Europe, eating a dish scented with cinnamon meant saying, "I am not ordinary." It was a way to show that you lived above winter, poverty, and monotony. In a world ruled by scarcity, spices were almost like magic, and magic always has value. Now imagine Europe in the 12th century. Cold, gray, stagnant. Most people never left their village in their entire lives. Food was always the same. Winters were long, fresh food almost non-existent. But the nobles? They set their tables with spices from distant lands, flavors from places they would never see. Small pouches that crossed deserts and seas. With 1 pound of pepper, you could buy livestock. A pouch of saffron could be traded for weapons. These were not luxuries. They were investments. And Europe wanted more. But these spices did not come easily. They didn't grow in Europe. They came from India, Indonesia, Sri Lanka. And they changed hands again and again before arriving. Indian traders, Arab intermediaries, Egyptian ports, Venetian ships. Everyone took their cut. Everyone guarded their secrets. Some even turned it into legend. Cinnamon grows in places guarded by monsters. Nutmeg comes from islands surrounded by dragons. Pepper forests are so dangerous they must be burned. Sounds like a fairy tale, doesn't it? But these were not fairy tales. They were trade secrets, a way to scare off rivals and keep prices high. And at the end of this chain stood a city, Venice. Venice didn't produce spices. It didn't have land, but it controlled the gate. Before spices entered Europe, they had to pass through Venice. And Venice used this power well. Warehouses were full, but little was released to the market. A sense of scarcity was created. Prices were manipulated. An early version of what we now call supply and demand management. With this money, Venice built palaces, fleets, and power. Not by owning land, but by controlling flow. Sound familiar? But every monopoly eventually cracks. As Venice raised prices, Europe grew angry. There has to be a way around this, they said. And eyes turned west. No one wanted to discover a new continent. No one dreamed of adventure. Everyone wanted spices. Columbus sailed west because he believed he could reach Asia faster. He was wrong. But that mistake changed the world. Vasco da Gama sailed around Africa to bypass Venice. Magellan circled the globe so Spain could claim its share. The age of exploration was, at its core, a trade war. Then they reached the Americas. And came the surprise. The world discovered new flavors. Chili peppers rewrote Asian cuisine. Vanilla enchanted Europe. Cacao became luxury. Allspice generated fortunes. America was no longer just new land. It was a new economic center. This moment marked the true beginning of globalization. But this new world collided with an old system. The medieval spice trade. The system was simple but brutal. Producers earned almost nothing. Those at the end of the chain took everything. Power wasn't about distance, it was about choke points. If you controlled a port, a strait, a passage, you controlled the game. Portugal entered by force. The Dutch turned it into a corporation. They created a company called the VOC and shocked the world. It was a company, but it could wage war and rule land. What began with spices became modern capitalism. Then came sugar, and everything scaled up. Plantations were built. Forced labor became part of the system. Wealth flowed. Cities expanded. America, Europe, Africa, and Asia became gears in a single economic machine. And today, what do you see? Semiconductors, data centers, lithium mines, supply chains. There may be no spices, but the logic is the same. Whoever controls the bottleneck wins. That's why history whispers this lesson. Whether it's pepper or data, control the path, and you control the world. If this gave you a new way of seeing things, subscribe. History has answers, and I'll show you where to find them.